wish we had theme music or something. Maybe we should all sing, I get by with a little help from my friends. Yeah, I'm going to try with a little help from my friends. It is our Friendsgiving episode here at the Lipedema Patient Roundtable, and we are so absolutely over the moon happy that you joined us tonight. And as you can see, we have extra double the fun, double the beautiful faces, double the spirit, double the joy. I mean, I feel like I'm doing a Doublemint commercial. Anyhow, I'm going to introduce our regular panelists, and they are going to introduce their friend for Friendsgiving. And I want all of you who are logging on to put in chat who your bestie is and where you're coming to us from. Let's all just link arms tonight and have a great conversation. And I will start with you, Cheryl Skolage.
All righty, I am Cheryl Skolage with Lipedema Diva, and we also have a Facebook page, Lipedema and Food Sensitivities. And my friend, my right-hand gal is Kelly Maynard. So Kelly Maynard is also with Wild Heart Wellness, and I know all of you are just going to fall in love with her like I have.
You know, Kelly has been able to visit us at least once before, and we have done some amazing interviews with her. Kelly, you've had a great experience with your LymphaPress as well. You have the upper extremity garment and the Lympha pants and the Optimal Plus. Oh my goodness. And you are just amazing. Hey, our president of LymphaPress just logged on. He's logging in from Jacksonville, Eric Ansart. Well, it's so wonderful to have you with us on our Friendsgiving episode. So now I'm going to go to Pale Ginger Pear, Cara Cruz. Who's your friend? First, tell us who you are, for those who don't know, as if people don't know, and tell us about your friend.
So I'm Cara, or Pale Ginger Pear, on all social media. And I am near Pittsburgh, PA, for those that always wonder where I'm at. And tonight joining me is Staci, or Lippy Aware, on IG. She is a fellow Dr. Jamie patient, and we have bonded because she had some of the surgeries that I've had but before me. So I was able to be like, what am I coming up against? What's tips? What should I do? That kind of thing.
And that's why this works so well, because we learn from each other, which is awesome. Staci, I've seen your name logged on in the past, and we're so honored to have you with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, and what a gift to be amongst all of you. Some real awesome advocates on this screen, so I'm super happy to be here.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of happiness. Can you feel the happiness at home? Because we're happy. We're so happy to be here. Sandy from Colorado is Sandy Darley's best friend. Cassie is saying hello from Texas. Hey, everyone from Cincinnati. April Sluter's bestie is Darlene, and she's also in Texas. What is this, a Texas night tonight? Bridgetown, Western Australia. Carol Nelson is with us, and her bestie is Danny Crofton. We've got Surprise, Arizona. Speaking of Arizona, we have two angels from Sarasota, not from Sarasota, from Arizona with us tonight. Angelique Charles, the Lippy Butterfly, please introduce yourself and your friend for Friendsgiving.
I am the Lippy Butterfly, as Brenda said, and my friend today is Angelo Jones, who, if you guys have watched, is also on the Lipedema Roundtable, and she is, aren't you?
Well, all right. So yes, she is. I almost wanted to say it's like one of those crossover episodes,
yeah,
like Grey's Anatomy and Chicago Hope or something. I don't know how they cross over, and it's like the Lipedema channel has visited the Lipedema channel. A happy reunion. I hope the ratings go through the roof. Go ahead, Angelique. I'm sorry.
And she's also here in Arizona with me, and I see a couple of other people that logged in from Arizona and my other hometown of Indianapolis. So it's so nice to have everybody here from all over the United States and even outside of the United States tonight.
I know. Isn't that amazing? Jennifer Williams, plus size and proud. We love you. She says, happy Friendsgiving, everyone. Amy from Delaware. Angie Hampton's out there. Sue Hunt, another Amy from Delaware. There's a lot of Amy things going on in Delaware. Pattie Cornute, take it away. Lipedema Fitness, tell us who you are and introduce us to your friend for Friendsgiving.
I am Pattie, and I am Lipedema Fitness on social media. And my friend is Marcia Witt, and she joined the Lipedema Fitness group a little over a year ago, I think. And
Hi, Marcia.
Wit is exactly a perfect description for her because she is so witty, and we connected like private messaging on just so many topics, that like Foo Fighters and just all this movie quoting and funny silliness. And it's just a lovely thing to have people that you can be laughing with when you really don't feel like laughing. So big, huge fan of Marcia.
We're fans of Marcia too, because we've seen her in the chat in the past too. So what an honor to meet you and have you here, Marcia. Okay, Siouxie Boshoff, tell us who you are. Well, I mean, I just said your name, but your connection, how we can find you on social, and your wonderful friend for Friendsgiving.
Hi guys, so I blog at lipedemaliving.com, and then I also, you can find me on Instagram at lipedema.living. And I'm an advocate and a blogger and a business owner and believe in living your best life with lipedema. But I'm excited about my friend, and that's Casey Grosvenor. And she is awesome. So you'll see her month after month. She's one of the most active people in the chat. But also, if you don't follow her on, Instagram, which, oh my gosh, this is
thriving with lipedema.
Thank you. Of course I know, but I'm like, wait a minute, did I just freeze? She's so inspiring. She does everything, and she's shrinking, and she's just been such an inspiration, and she's one of my favorite Instagram people. We connected, and anyway, I just had to share her today.
Well, this is a landmark evening because for the first time in the history of forever, I now know how to pronounce Casey's name. And we love her because, all right, last month we all dressed up for Halloween, and I go on Instagram after the show, and there she is in her giraffe costume, watching the roundtable. And what can we say? Mad props to you, Casey Grosvenor, for being such a devoted fan of the roundtable. It's super awesome. So I want to introduce two people to you. One is Linda Ann Kahn. And Linda Ann, I mentioned your name to Dr. Emily Eicher yesterday. By the way, we did an amazing webinar with Dr. Eicher, which you are all going to want to see. She talked about lipedema and Derkums. She talked about using the lymphopress, and after 30 minutes, the subcutaneous space in a lipedema patient was reduced by 50%. 30 minutes. That was outrageous. But then I said, do you know Linda Ann Kahn, as if she didn't. I mean, you both were part of this standard of care for lipedema. And she said, Linda Ann Kahn is one of the brightest lights I've ever known. So we agree, and we get to have her bright light here with us tonight and at most of the roundtables. So Linda Ann, thank you for being here. And then I get to introduce my friend for Friendsgiving. And I could get a little teary because it's not been the best year for Brenda Viola. She's had her share of challenges. And I think one of the reasons I wanted to do a Friendsgiving show is because we really do get by with a little help from our friends. And you really know who your friends are when they show up, when you need them the most. And I've worked with Kristi Currie. She is one of the most senior compression therapy consultants and was recently promoted to a managerial position in our sales team at Lymphopress. She lives in Texas. I live in Sarasota. When my mom passed away, she showed up. And when Mark passed away, she showed up. You never forget the people that show up for you. And Kristi's heart is as huge as the state of Texas. And I am so honored that you are my friend and that you're here with me tonight. Love you, Kristi.
Thank you. Thank you, Brenda.
Well, it's the truth. So let's start with good news. First of all, Pale Ginger Pear, you went almost viral with your silly video. Tell us all about that.
So whenever I'm doing my lymphopress stuff, I always have something going through my head. And when I do the legs, it's always the Willy Wonka with the like the blueberry scene. But when I do the one arm and I'm putting it on and it's inflating, I have the Family Guy scene, and I'm not a Family Guy person, but I have the scene where it's the wacky wavy arm guy, and that's all I could think of when I wear it. So I had to make the reel for Instagram where I had that sound clip playing over it as I like moved my arm back and forth.
It was so absolutely adorable, so pale ginger pear. But then she did offer a serious take on how easy it is to use her upper extremity garment. And you just zipped it right up, did it all with one hand, boom, and done. And so you did recently have surgery on your arms. So what has been the LymphaPress experience since then?
It has been great. I've used the arms more than the legs. I will admit that, like, I've taken the time to focus on the arms just because they're so freshly out of surgery and I can feel the swelling more. But it's great, especially after a day where I'm spent with my arms kind of bent typing for work all day.
Mm-hmm.
I will zip into it one arm and watch TV with the kid and just let it work and massage that up, because I get a pocket of swelling right by each elbow, which they say is typical because gravity pulls the fluid down and it hits right at that spot because I still have the loose skin there. So it kind of just fills up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing that video, because I think a lot of people didn't realize that it's not just a lower extremity condition, right, or that there was help available for the upper extremity and the patented garments that LymphaPress has. Now, we know this is not a LymphaPress commercial, but I have to tell you, because I'm Brenda from LymphaPress. So I'm so glad for that. And that's super awesome. I want Marcia Witt to pick a number from 1 to 35, because we are going to give away 5 LymphaPress calendars tonight. So pick a number, Marcia.
17.
And the winner is Holly Hope. Holly Hope, you need to email me, bviola@lymphapress.com, your home address, and we are going to send you our 2022 LymphaPress calendar, which is super cool and super fun. We like superimpose people's heads on top of fake images, and it's super fun. Now, we got some questions in from the audience before we went live, and I'm going to lean on you, Dr. Linda Ann Kahn, for this, because, and I want to hear from the panelists too, blood pressure. This person, Victoria Bowden, Victoria, we're so glad that you asked the question, asks, she saw that having blood pressure taken on the upper arm could possibly damage the lymphatics. And it made her curious, is there truth to that? And does lipedema have any impact on blood pressure? Now, I know if any of you want to say something, and I know Cheryl, you do, but first, Linda Ann, is there anything you want to speak to on that? I can't hear you. We need to unmute.
Yeah.
Perfect.
If you have lymphedema of the arm, you do not want to take blood pressure on that side because you could damage the lymphatics. With lipedema, I don't believe that there is a problem. So it's just lymphedema. But however, it's very painful. I have lipedema, and when I take my blood pressure at the hospital, I'm in agony. So sometimes when you do more of a manual technique, it's a little bit easier. So that's the only downside, that it could be painful.
Okay, and Cheryl, I'm going to go to you, and then Pale Ginger Pear, go for it.
Sure. And maybe it is that maybe I do have some lymphedema in the arms, because I do know that different women have had different experiences. However, I was having issues with especially the automated blood pressure machines, and I did speak with Karen Herbst very briefly though, so realize it was a very brief conversation during one of the research chats at one of the FDRS conferences. And she said that it is possible that the automated cuff, what happens is that it overpressurizes. So with a manual machine, they're able to listen and be able to not pressurize as much. But with the automated machine, it will overpressurize. And she believes that because our blood vessels are flexible, that we start stressing that blood vessel, and it ends up ballooning because of the connective tissue disorder. And it's possible for the liquid to leak into the interstitial spaces. And so that immediate pain that we're getting, that could also spike our blood pressure, and we're getting a false reading. So my example, I have a couple of them actually, but my latest example, I was in a car accident a year ago, and the ambulance came, and so I've printed out these little cards because I refuse to have my blood pressure taken with the automatic machine. So I had my little card and I gave it to the ambulance driver, and they said, "We only have an automated cuff." And I said, "Well, the reading is going to be artificially high." And I said, "So what is it?" And she refused to tell me. Apparently it was so high that she was afraid to even tell me. But it would
make your blood pressure go higher.
Apparently, yeah.
What?
So they insisted that they bring me to the hospital. And so, eventually I was able to convince them to tell me. And it was crazy. I mean, it was like 198 over 150 or something crazy. I mean, it was really crazy.
Wow.
And so they did it with an automated cuff at the hospital, and it was 140 over 100, which is still high, but they said, you were just in a car accident, so we expect it to be a little bit higher at the moment. So, yeah. So I also had a cardio test, and they were taking my blood pressure in one arm and doing it manually in the other. So one automatic and one manually. And the difference was dramatic enough that they were taking the manual and writing it down on the chart.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that, Cheryl. And Cara, what's your experience been?
I can't get it done on my upper arm. I flat out refuse. Normally, it was really rough for them to even find a cuff that fit my upper arm. So I would always tell them, you have to use the largest cuff you have, and you have to do my forearm. Like, it was just way too painful for the upper arm. And I said, it stresses me out because you don't get a good read. And then you redo it, which is more pain. And then the number just keeps going crazier. And so, like, I made them document it in my chart, and it's a big ordeal. And I finally got a nurse this last time for my pre-op clearance to listen to do the manual on the lower arm, and you get a much more accurate read.
Well, we could probably I see a lot of nodding heads, and there's a lot of chat going on. Amanda Hadaway recalls that on a previous roundtable, Dr. Herbst had talked about the development of a new blood pressure monitor that wouldn't squeeze. Does anybody have any updates on that? I haven't heard anything, but if we hear something about that, we will certainly let you know. We can't always count on Dr. Herbst being with us. We miss her tonight, but I will pose that question of her, absolutely. Leslie Sterling says taking it on your forearm is a little better. And Michelle Davis says she also gets it on her forearm too. So very interesting discussion. And Sandy Darley says that she spoke with you at an aromatherapy conference, Linda Ann Kahn. Is there any special aromatherapy mix for the season of gratitude? Is there something, because I believe gratitude is a superpower in all of our lives. We can always find something to be grateful for. Are there any aromas that evoke or help to stoke gratitude?
Well, the oil that comes to mind is mandarin, bergamot, and orange essential oil. They're really good for the second chakra. They're warming, they're soothing, and they're expansive. So that just comes to mind as we're talking.
Oh, yummy. I want some of that. Totally sign me up for that. Now, another question came in from Sandy Darley, who is in our audience tonight and who also is very involved with aromatherapy. Questions for the group, and I know already, Angelo Jones, you're going to raise your hand. Have you ever traveled with your compression pump? Any issues with it and going through security? So please, those of you who travel with your pneumatic compression pump, your LymphaPress, tell us about it. So I'm going to go to Angela and then Pattie. Go for it.
Okay, back in the summer, I traveled from Arizona to North Carolina, and I was just in a state of panic because I did not want to check the garment and the pump. I wanted to carry it as a carry-on, and I tried the smallest carry-on that I had, and I could not make it fit because I was so afraid to fold it. Well, the garment gives. You can fold it as small as you need to. And I ended up having to check it anyway. But recently I went to Sedona over the weekend, and I managed to get that pump and the pants in the smallest suitcase. I was shocked because I was so terrified to just fold it tightly enough, but it gives, and it's very easy to travel with. And when I packed mine, I also put foam on the top of it, just in case it gets banged around for whatever reason, but it travels very well. It's very easy to travel with.
Well, we know you're traveling. You're always going back and forth between. And I want to get back to you and Angelique and how you two started your, what do we call it? Galentine's Day, kind of gathering, you two. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But Pattie, did you want to talk about travel?
Yeah, I do the same thing. I found when I use mine anyways, I fold it in half long ways and then fold it in half again, just in my house. And then I put it in like a little storage ottoman at the end of my bed. And that's where I keep it anyways. And I was looking at it and my luggage, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see if that fits. And like the regular overhead luggage that you can carry on, the pants fit beautifully in there. And then I usually carry the machine part separately because I just don't want that part to get damaged.
Yeah.
I've had no problems with it.
No security? How about security?
Nothing. No issues.
All right. That's all good news. We like hearing that. I'm sure, Kristi, in your many years of helping patients with their lymphopress devices, you've had the question about travel and all that. And I think one of the gratifying things is that people can get back to living and get back to traveling. Do you have any patient stories that especially warmed your heart, Kristi, in your experience with lymphopress?
Yes, and first I was going to say two things. The as far as folding the garments, the original packaging, they are folded up pretty tight in that plastic bag that they come in, when you first get it. So folding them, is not going to hurt them for when you are traveling. And I've actually traveled with a compression pump as well, with the sleeves and the pump, and I had no issues through TSA. One of the agents asked me what it was, and I just told him, briefly explained it, and he looked through it and said, okay, go on ahead. So it was a non-issue, which is good. And I was going to say, as far as, yes, a heartwarming story from a patient over the years. I mean, y'all, I could tell you, hundreds of stories of patients that have called me and said, I'm able to get into my shoes, or, I do live in Texas. So they'll call me and say, I'm able to put my cowboy boots back on, because my calves aren't, yes, hey, Kelly, my calves aren't as swollen. So I love when I get those phone calls, after patients have been using their lymphopress. Then I just wanted to share also that I follow several of you guys on social media, and I'm usually listening in here kind of, just in the background, and the camaraderie and the community in this group that you guys have created is inspiring. And you guys have actually made me more empathetic, and I just have a better feel and an understanding, for what somebody goes through living with lipedema. And so my patient example is kind of surrounding the camaraderie piece of it. It was about a year ago. Part of my job is to go and teach, into the homes and teach patients how to use their lymphopress when they get it. And this woman hadn't been out of her house in a year because of COVID. She was scared. She was elderly and just terrified. And I mean, really that day, I just sat there with her for probably an hour and a half, longer than I was supposed to. And we just talked, and, I tried to, maybe make her feel a little bit more comfortable about getting out. She had just been vaccinated. Anyways,
when I think of this group and just like I already said it, I just feel like I have such a better sense of, what it's like to live with lipedema and lymphedema because of you all and the way that you guys uplift one another. It's inspiring. And I'm honored to be here tonight and to be on the panel with all you guys.
I don't know, the cockles in my heart. You get a heart, Kristi. That's our signature when we.
Thank you. I can't.
You totally get the heart action, and I have to tell you, it changed my whole life doing these roundtables with these amazing women. It made my work a joy because there's nothing like connection with real people and genuinely caring about people. And so what's so cool is the ripple effect continues. For instance, Angelique, how did your love story with Angelo Jones begin?
I really think that it was the roundtables that ended up making the initial connection. Angela reached out to me in my inbox and it was almost just instantaneous. I've been on like this food journey and trying to figure out what it is that I really want to eat and what's going to be good for me, balanced with what I actually like eating and stuff. And Kelly Maynard has been a wonderful nutritionist for over a year now, has taught me so much about grace and so much about loving myself over trying to listen to what society says or what these mixed up thoughts are in my mind about who I should be, especially on a plate. But I've been really getting inspired by Angela's cooking. If you ever pay attention to her page at any time, the way that she brings in fresh vegetables and whole ingredients has been really inspiring for me. So hopefully we'll be able to get out to a farmer's market, since we're really not that far from each other, sometime here soon.
And that's so special to finally meet. Like, since we last got together, I actually met Siouxie Boshoff. I went to her scrummy, yummy gummy bears. I say it wrong all the time, but my heart's in the right place. Her magical little store that's maybe an hour away from me. We finally met, and what a joy to finally connect in person. But then there are people here. You brought a friend and you've never met before, right? Casey, so how did you get to be friends with Siouxie?
So it was absolutely through this forum, Brenda. I started attending these, I guess, in early summer. I was diagnosed in March of this year, and I quietly listened the first time, but gradually started reaching out to several of you. And Cara, I think, was probably one of the very first people I interacted with, and then Siouxie. But Siouxie talked about her gummy bears on one of the shows, and of course I had to get them, and shameless, I had to get them, and now I've bought them like so many times and for so many people. And so Siouxie and I started talking over, Instagram and Facebook, and so many of you on this community, and like I see several more. I'm like, I want to follow you. I want to know about everyone, because y'all have been such a part. I consider this forum part of my conservative treatments because it is a mental component. I do all of the conservative treatments, but the mental aspect of this disorder is so important, and y'all are the glue that's holding all that together.
Well, drop the mic. I mean, could that have been more well said? We're just getting a little verklempt over here. Thank you, Casey. Hey, Casey, can you pick a number, and whoever 1 through 40, and we'll see who will win our next calendar.
I'm going to go crazy and go like 39.
That makes it so easy for me. And Victoria Bowden is our winner. Victoria, email me at bviola@lymphapress.com. I know you know my email because you've emailed me before. Victoria, we're going to send you the 2022 calendar. Now I'm going to play a little game here and switch it around. Now we had our panelists introduce their friends. Now I'm going to call on the friends and ask them why they love the person that invited them. And I'm going to start with you, Marcia Witt.
Wow, this is going to be really hard to put in like less than a couple minutes, because Pattie inspired me. I found Pattie on the Spotlight Lipedema podcast, and I followed her immediately. We have the same exact kind of body type, and seeing what she was doing. And I was like lost in the sea. I had just been diagnosed. Well, actually, I lost a friend to COVID. That's how I found out about lipedema. Her husband told me she always wanted to tell you you have lipedema, but she was afraid to just kind of put it out there. And so then I took a deep dive. I got diagnosed, and the first person I found was Pattie, and immediately after Pattie was Cara. So it was like I just immediately like started following her and was just amazed at what she was doing with Coach and everything. I think I reached out to her on Instagram, like liking one of her stories, and we started talking via DM, like she was saying, and this instant connection, like she gets me in every possible way. I just had my first lipedema surgery on 10/8. I had fleur-de-lis tummy tuck. They took 22 pounds of lipedema. The surgeon that did it had never seen that much lipedema. He kept saying, I kept expecting to hit obesity or visceral fat, and I hit nothing. It was all lipedema fat in that. And she's been my rock. She's been, I've cried to her about the emotional part of it. I've run into some complications, and I was all freaking out because I wanted to reach out to Cara too. And I was like, I can't. She thinks I'm a creeper because I'm on all these panels. I'm always like, I love Pattie. I love Cara. I love Brett. I love all of you guys. I'm totally fangirl.
We love you back.
All of you.
And you know, it's so, here's what means so much, I think, to all of us, because we felt the love in what you said to Pattie, and we saw Pattie receive it. Like, I could tell that it touched your heart, Pattie, and you need to know what a difference you make and what an inspiration you are. You truly are a life force in this community and a true dear friend. This is Friendsgiving. So yeah, we're going to have all the feels tonight, everybody. Just buckle up, grab your tissues if need be. We're going there. So with that, I'm going to go to Staci O'Shea and say, why do you love the person that invited you for Friendsgiving?
Well, thank you so much for asking me. And what is not to love about Cara? She has been a real dear friend to me. And what happened for me is that I, just like Marcia was sharing, which thank you, Marcia, that was beautiful. I had a complete stranger tell me that I had lipedema, and you know, that took me into this world. And I too had a journey with surgery, and that's how I found Cara. And we started off with humor. We just like people have said, we just hit it off, just goofy. Like I DM'd her some weird stuff and she DM'd me some weird stuff right back. And I was like, this is my person. And as she mentioned, we share the same surgeon, but more importantly, we share the same journey, and we share the same path to wellness and the same desire to make a big difference in this community. And so through all the humor is this connection that we have. And we've also learned a lot about each other personally, even though we've never physically been in each other's presence. We text every single day and have a lot in common. And yeah, I really, I'm so grateful for her friendship and willingness to, I didn't even have an Instagram account until 6 months ago. And so here I was reaching out to somebody with such a heavy presence. And that just speaks to her character that, you know, it doesn't matter if you have 1 million followers or 10 followers, or you're just some random picture. And, you know, I don't even think I have my name on my account. And she still was kind enough to give me her phone number. Not that she'll give everybody her phone number.
Yes,
but
seriously, I got to tell you, when I first was introduced to this community, Pattie said, you need to meet Pale Ginger Pear. And I'm like, she's a celebrity. I don't think she'll talk to me. And she's so approachable and so wonderful. So you said it, Staci, and said it so well. Before we go to the rest of you, because I'm feeling all the goosebumps about it, and I'm going to go to you, Kelly, next to talk about who invited you. But Linda, we have a question from the audience, and it is for you, Linda and Kahn. Do you recommend red light therapy for lipedema? And if so, how should we use it?
I love red light therapy, and I've been using it actually just for the past few months. I use red light and far infrared light. It's also got a little bit of a blue light in, but there are many, many brands. What you can do is you can get them that you drape over the body. So what I do when I'm doing treatment, I'll do my lymph drainage on one leg, and I've got the draping on the other leg, and then we switch it. You can also buy units where you stand in front of them, but it works on the mitochondria of the cell and helps with inflammation and with pain. So if you've got sore joints or sore neck, that's why I like the one that wraps around. And you get larger ones and smaller ones. There's even a really large one that you can get inside. That one's really expensive. So yes, I think it's an up and coming, amazing therapy and could definitely be incorporated into your home care. You can also get small ones that you might just work, in an area, but I like to put it on and then be doing something else.
Perfect. Great answer. Thank you so much, Linda Ann Kahn. So Kelly, tell us why you love the person that invited you.
I could talk for a long time about Cheryl. And we actually did get to meet in person just a few months ago. We met halfway, and it was just like sitting down with someone I've known forever. Because you have that moment where you're like, oh, we've only talked on the computer. What if it turns out weird? And it was just,
what if there's no chemistry?
But Cheryl is one of those people who, in fact, it happened today. I'm like, I can't deal with this. This is terrible. And I can just tell her that it stinks, whatever it is, whether it's I hate lipedema or this person in our group is crazy. Most people are wonderful. I'll just put that out there. But as a group admin, you have those moments. So I'm really glad that Cheryl and I can have each other to talk behind the scenes and figure out how to best run the group. Because we feel like we want our group to be Cheryl's group to be have a certain vibe. Yeah. So I love that we can bounce ideas off of each other. She's so supportive. I can come to her like, I'm going to lose my mind and cry and I can't deal with this anymore. And she is just, she's a person who can like re-ground me. Yeah. While still saying, I totally understand because this is terrible. Yeah. And I think that's rare because a lot of people will get in that complaining place with you, or they'll just sort of like pat you on the head and say, oh, it's fine. But she really does understand. And that compassion comes through when she talks to people in the group. She really goes out of her way to try to help others, to try to get them the information that they need. And she has been such a good friend. I've been part of her group since her group only had about 25 people.
And now how many does it have now?
It has over 7,000 now. And so it has been just an honor. She's always like, thank you for what you do. And it's like, are you kidding? It's such an honor to be part of this group that is helping people. Yeah. To be able to see those journeys and to partner with her and do that. I'm honored that she lets me be part of it, and that she's really a true friend. At all those moments when lipedema is hard. This panel, we try to be upbeat and encouraging and stuff, and it's a good place, but lipedema is hard. And even the panelists that you see, the admins, the Instagram people, they have those moments where it's just really hard. So I think Friendsgiving is great because we all need those people.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a new tradition, just like our Halloween adventure in costumes. We've got to do Friendsgiving every year. Pattie, did you want to add something?
I do. I wanted to say that both Cheryl and Kelly have reached out to me when something has kind of come up a little wonky in my group before. And just they watch out for you, and I'm working and I'm going along and I'm getting binged and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? They're like, have you seen your page? There's a bomb going off, so I appreciate all the help. It's just such a great community when you can do that.
Yeah, that I'm so glad you mentioned that. It's so true, because there are love tentacles that go out of genuine caring. And, we're not competing with each other. It's not about, well, Pattie's group and then, well, Cheryl's group and, no, we're here for the same reason, to uplift the community and to educate and to inspire. And I'm just the lucky one, because Lympha Press gets to bring you all together once a month for the best night of the month. Clearly it is. Casey, you're up.
First of all, Susie's name, like, how can you not think she's amazing with just the way her name is spelled? I think that is so cool. But I think what I love so much about Siouxsie, I first started talking with her, I think in maybe May. She had said something on the roundtable about the product that she was developing. And at that time, I was, like you said, lipedema is hard. I was going through an emotional divorce with sugar. And it was a very difficult thing for me to let go of sugar. Best thing I've ever done. But Susie's gummy bears, the fact that a woman sees a problem and goes and develops a solution for our community, something that like fixes a need. And yes, it's as silly as candy. That can be the thing that makes you okay. So you keep on doing all the things you need to do to stay healthy. So I'm just incredibly, in awe of what Siouxsie has done building that product from the ground up. And I mean, I already have my wish list of all the other things I want her and her family to develop. But
oh, well, did you taste the caramels yet?
Yes, I did. They're amazing.
swooning over the caramels with no guilt added. And tell me what you discovered, the QR code on the package.
Yes, if you order from Susie's website and get the box, there's a little secret QR code. And if you scan it, you come to the cutest website with this grandbaby. And I remember pinging her, I think it was maybe August, Siouxsie, you missed the roundtable. And I was like, I miss seeing you. She was like, I was with my brand new granddaughter.
Yeah, and that grandbaby is just the cutest, I mean, beautiful, amazingly cute. Yes.
So I've never gotten to meet Siouxsie in person, and what an honor to get to be with this panel of amazing people. But I'm so impressed with every woman in this group. And like we constantly get beaten down in the medical community, in the public eye, and to see how successful women are in this community is just absolutely overwhelming to me.
Yes, we've got some powerful, entrepreneurial, smart, PhD quality women. I'm always inspired every time people open their mouths, like Angelo Jones. Every time you talk, I want to take notes or pass a collection plate. So why are you so happy that you know Angelique Charles for Friendsgiving?
Well, the way I met Angelique was, I was going through Facebook one day, and I had seen her here on the panel, but I was going through Facebook and she had a message, it's really hot in Arizona or something like that. And I'm like, oh, she's in Arizona, I'm in Arizona. And I sent a message to her, and this was back in June of this year. And I sent a message to her, saying, I'm in Arizona. It's so cool that we're both in Arizona. And she never treated me or responded to me like I was a stranger. She responded to me. We've had conversations like we've always known each other. And we message each other several times a week. When I went home recently to North Carolina, I did a lot of whining. Oh, I want to stay. Oh, I want to go. And she was just encouraging. She never once, like my other friends did, said, but you need to make a decision. She never did that. She just simply said, you'll know what to do. Just enjoy your time there. So she's been very encouraging to me. And I absolutely love her voice. So her voice to me is very calming. I love her voice. And I'm looking forward to, we talked earlier today or yesterday about a farmer's market here in the area, somewhere between us. So at some point, we're going to go to the farmer's market and buy all the vegetables that they're willing to sell us.
And I have a request, and I'm giving you a month's notice, Angelique, because you not only have a beautiful speaking voice, you have an amazing singing voice. And my Christmas wish is that for our Secret Santa event next month, would you sing at least one verse of a Christmas carol for us?
Yes, I think I will do that. I've been saying that I need to step out a little bit more, so I will.
All right, we all heard it. It's recorded. We're going with it. And thank you for letting me put you on the spot, but we can do that because we're real friends. Okay, I got a few more questions. Question for Linda Ann. Can you share any input on full body thermography?
So I have had it done. Some places will not do full body thermography. They will only do the breast area because that is what the standard of care is. But having said that, I think it's very interesting to do the full body thermography. At one time, they found something in my gum, in my jaw, and it turned out that there really was a cavity going on there. But then my legs were really, really dense. There was a lot of redness. And when I had thermography done at one of the FDRS conferences, when we were doing the research that we were doing, the back of my arms were blood red. And I asked the girl doing it, forget who she is. She used to work for Dr. Stutz. She said, no, all of us lippy ladies have really red and inflamed behind the arms. So I wouldn't want to do full body thermography too often. I don't know if there's radiation, but I do think it's a very interesting thing to do and to monitor.
And so then, Linda Ann, since you've got the floor, why don't you pick a number between 1 and 41 and see who else can win a calendar?
41.
Wow. All right. Oh, okay. That would be, got all my little screens hiding it here. Hutton. Last name is Hutton. Zeet Hutton. Zeet Hutton, you have won a calendar. Just email me, bviola@lymphapress.com. Clap, 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 clap. Wonderful. Hey, I did get another question about, are skin tags prevalent in lipedema women? Anybody here at the table have an issue with skin tags? Really? Wow. So that is the majority. Linda Ann, is there anything that could be attributed to this in lipedema women that you can think of? Oh, and Siouxsie will jump in a minute.
Know the answer. I don't know, other than there's laxity of the skin, but I've not seen that. I'm going to start asking my patients now. Yeah. I know I've discovered dry eyes with a lot of my patients. Now I'm looking at gums, and we spoke about that a few weeks ago. So I know there's lots of other correlations, but I'm interested to see what Siouxsie has to say.
Yeah, so we're going to go to you, Siouxsie, in just a second. Carol Nelson says she was told skin tags are related to insulin resistance. And Angelo Jones says that she believes that it has to do with excess collagen. Beth Rylersdem is out there tonight. Beth, hello. We're so glad to know that you're there. She also says insulin resistance. Siouxsie, did you want to add something to that?
I'm just going to say one thing totally random is I used to have skin tags underneath my breasts. And then when I stopped wearing an underwire bra, over time, they disappeared. So I don't know what the hell that has to do with anything. It's totally 100% anecdotal, but there you have it.
Thank you for cursing at least once in the show. Yeah, I was really starting to wonder what was going on here because, we got to keep things a little bit spicy. Now, I've been told that I must wrap things up sooner because I'm going usually right to the very end. So it's our Thanksgiving show. There's a question, one more question, Linda Ann. Can you explain draping in more depth so she can get a picture of how it works with red light? And while you get ready to answer that, we're going to do a quick round the round table. Either what are you thankful for or a word of encouragement for our audience tonight. So Linda Ann, draping regarding red light.
When I was talking about draping, the model that I use, it bends. It's very flexible. So I actually drape it over the limb. So encasing it over the limb. It's nothing fancy.
Well, that's good. We like knowing it's nothing fancy. That sounds quite simple. So thank you for explaining that. Okay, we're saying thankfulness, Thanksgiving, It's that time, everybody. Gather around the computer screen and let's give either a word of encouragement or share something that you're thankful for. And I'm going to call on everybody. So everybody's going to answer, but I'll start with you, Cheryl.
Sure. I am thankful for friends who are even better than family. Oh, and now I have my dog's nose coming over my shoulder.
Like me, right?
And so I just want to encourage everyone out there, as people have said on the panel, we're here to listen to you and to help. So if you need to reach out to us, please do, because that's, you guys are better than family.
Yeah, well said and so beautiful. So Casey, go for it.
I'm so thankful for the empathy of every person in this community. Kristi, you said it best. Lipedema folks are like the most empathetic people on the planet. And I'm just so grateful for all of y'all and all of you in the broader lipedema community.
Please wear costumes again for us too. We love your...
I never miss an opportunity to dress up, Brenda.
Well, next month, just so you know, I'm giving everybody a heads up. We're wearing our PJs. We're going to drink hot chocolate. We're going to have Santa hats and decorations. And Angelique is going to sing for us. And we're going to do a secret Santa among our regular panelists. Seriously, most Christmas parties are like, boring. This one's going to be hot. We hope you'll be there.
You won't be disappointed by my costume I'll put it on Instagram, Brenda.
We will look. That should be part of the show. Is Casey post on after the show? Cara Cruz, what are you thankful for, or word of encouragement for the group?
I'm thankful for the community and the sense of you're not alone, because you grow up with this condition feeling like something's not right and that it's something you need to fix, but in your head it's not something you did. So then when you start talking to other women in the community and you hear such a similar backstory with this little twist here and there, it just makes you feel normal, which we don't often get to feel.
Normal, and yet I gotta say extraordinary too. And I love the way you said it. Cara, you are, so sometimes when you post things on social, I will show them to our internal staff channel. And I get all this response from my coworkers. She's so down to earth. She's so funny. She's so real. We just love her. I want to thank you, Cara, for what you bring to the community so much, really. I could say that about all of you, but I just particularly, all I say is I need a video and boom, she's got it done. It's wonderful. Marcia Witt, word of encouragement, or what are you thankful for?
I'm really thankful that this community has become family to me. I always joke I'm like the weird kind of creeper on the other side, but everybody's still really responsive to me, and I'm like, hello, I have another question, I have a problem. And my family is kind of sort of given up on me, always complaining about stuff, but I find family in this community. And I am so grateful for every single one of you and allowing me to fangirl out on all of you as well.
Well, we're fangirling right back to you, Marcia Witt. It's so lovely to put a face to your wonderful name. Thank you. All right. By the way, we embrace weird around here. We like it. It works for us. So, why be boring? Siouxie Boshoff.
So I'm super grateful for this community on so many levels. I mean, even the business and I believe it or not, I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for this group for a lot of reasons. I mean, honestly, it was a food sensitivity thing that made me make them in the first place. And then my husband said we should bring them to market, and that was challenging. And the support came from unexpected places for me. And I never realized how important it is to have that foundation and to build a tribe, if you will, around yourself for all of those challenges. And this group is like family. We've all been through whatever we've been through. We don't always share all of the details, but we're always there for one another. And it gives so much strength. And I try to give back, and I try to remember to acknowledge people who do amazing things. Kelly made me feel so welcome when I joined the food sensitivities group, and she didn't make me feel, I think most people feel like creepers. I was laughing about what Marcia said, because I totally felt like a creepy stalker. And then everybody just welcomed me, and you go from weird to family, and it's kind of awesome.
I mean, I hope you're all getting a chance to read the chat, and I will send it to you after. But I love what Carol Nelson said. Blessed are all the weird creepers, the lovely lippies, the gentle goddesses. All your kind caring is so appreciated by me. Oh, so beautifully said. We love that. But we got to keep going, or else they're going to take the hook and get me off of here. Angela Jones, go for it.
First of all, I'm very thankful for you, Brenda, for this extending this platform to us. And also, I'd like to say that where we are is where we are. And I believe that within every problem or issue, there lies the solution and a blessing.
Oh, who would like to follow that, Angelique? Because that's getting hearts all around. By the way, just so you know, Angela Jones will call me on a Friday night and say, how you doing, Brenda? Because she knows weekends are a little tough for me these days. And I'm like, I'm okay. And she's like, are you really okay? She does not put up with a superficial answer. And that's a true friend, Angela Jones. Love you. All right, Angelique, come on. You got to follow her. And if anybody can, it's you.
I am, just like everyone else said, I am so grateful for this community. There were so many times along the way that I wanted to give up, but having the community of women that are here and the people that are on our panel or that are in the audience that reach out to me in the inbox, it really encouraged me to keep going. And I want to encourage everyone out there that I know, like, we come across obstacles and mountains and freaking valleys that really suck. But if you just keep going, don't give up, don't feel bad about reaching out to us, because we reach out to each other too. We reach out to you. We appreciate your comments on our pages and things like that, because our lows get just as low as everyone else's. But be encouraged that if you just keep going, it'll get better. You will feel better. And the more you are encouraged, the more you'll feel encouraged to press even harder.
My work here is done. Okay, Pattie, go for it.
I am very grateful for laughter. Laughter is my big thing right now. And I feel with like the holidays coming, things kind of get a little hectic and a little stressful, and taking moments to connect on things, even things that are related around lipedema. You know, I punched my finger through my dawning glove the other day, and I just started cracking up. I'm like, really? I've worn out my gloves. You just find little ways of lightening things when it's, you know, just so much on you. So seek out people here, seek out people in the group. And it's so wonderful to read somebody like write a comment and there'll be like a little zinger in there, and then you get it and then you're laughing. And then before you know it, it's a whole separate little thread. And
I think
it means the most.
Great point. Yes. And every Friday, Kelly Maynard posts a Friday funny on her Facebook page. And they always crack me up. Kelly, it's your turn. Go for it.
All right. I post those because I need them to keep going. So it's for me, but I share. I'm grateful that in the lipedema community, even though we all have so much in common, there are so many different voices that come from a different point of view, because we're not all the same. And I think all of us have said the reason we love our friend that we're joining is because we just connected with that person. And I think a lot of people who come to understand lipedema and find a path that works for them is because they see other people that they connect with. Yeah. And so I'm really grateful that it's not just one group with one voice and one vibe. We have all this. And I want to say one more thing. Stop wearing your underwire bra. That's what I want to say. That's my friendly advice for women with lipedema. It's not, it's hurting you. Don't do it.
Well, but how do you really feel, Kelly? Don't hold back. Come on now.
Nope.
Staci O'Shea, go for it.
I am really thankful that I don't have to walk this journey alone. That's really what I'm thankful for, that, you know, I've met all of these amazing women, and I've met a lot of friends on Instagram alone that, you know, have this condition and really understand, and coming to things like this just reminds me that I don't have to do this alone. And I don't know about any of you, but I spent, over 40 years doing this alone and thinking I was some sort of freak and not really recognizing, what was wrong with me. And actually it's what is right with me. And because of that and what you guys have done, I hope that I get to carry the same message and keep carrying it freely as it was brought to me. So that's really what I'm thankful for.
Oh, I love it. And I'm running out of time. My friend Kristi, you go, girl.
I was just going to say, I know you left me out of the why do you love the person that invited you, because you didn't want to toot your own horn since you invited me. So I was hopeful that I would get 20 seconds to tell everybody. Y'all, I am thankful for Brenda. I know you guys know her from the panel and, you do know her a little bit personally, but I'm here to tell you that her light, her empathy, her kindness, all of that is real. I've known her since before she worked for LymphoPress. I was up at the corporate office. We did some sort of a interview, something. So I met her years ago. And then when we started working together, similar to what you guys have said, we just connected. I mean, she said earlier that I've been there for her, but I mean, I've cried to her when my mom died. I cried to her with my divorce. I mean, just so many things, life events. And she is the kindest person that I know, and her heart that shows through on this panel, she lives it every day. You're a beautiful person inside and out, Brenda. Thank you for being you.
I love you, Kristi, and it means the world to me. You all mean the world to me, and I wouldn't leave you out, Linda Ann Kahn. You get to bring us on home, and yep, you know what, we're going to be too long for Instagram, but there's just so much love here. We don't care. So Kristi, thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Linda Ann.
Well, I have a word of encouragement, and I'm going to read it because I don't want to leave anything out. Life may not be the party we had all hoped for, but while we're here, we should dance. And if we can't dance, then we can dream of how much we would enjoy being able to, and who we'd like to share that joy with, and just be at peace. And I'm grateful for all of you, and especially for you, Brenda. And I can't wait to dance with you when we're in San Diego. And I'm going to take such good care of her. I'm going to pamper her. And thank you, everybody.
Oh my gosh. Who wants to end this night? Not me. It's Friendsgiving. And I hope our friends out there, thank you for sharing this special night with all of us. We love you. We appreciate you. You are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. You are loved. LymphoPress loves you. I love you. And I need to shut up now. So good night, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Have a great holiday. And we'll see you for our special Christmas episode next month. Join us. Take care.